This is going to be the place for binge watching, ladies.
Is it, ladies? Don't get me wrong. You have killer tech, Mrs. D, but you still don't have Fios.
Okay.
Fios is a 100% fiber optic network, literally engineered for streaming.
Good advice.
I've also got some ideas on a better cereal selection, which I will keep to myself.
Experience Netflix on the 100% fiber optic network made for streaming. Switch to Fios and get a year of Netflix on us with a 2-year agreement.
Heavy rain and strong winds overnight could make a mess for your Monday morning. Thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday evening. I'm Deborah Alfarone. We're under a yellow alert tonight. It's a big line of storms head our way, so let's begin with First Alert meteorologist Howard Bernstein.
Yeah, Deborah, those storms really been hammering areas south of town down to Danville and Lynchburg. Tornado damage, thankfully only reports of minor injuries so far, but they've got shelters open down there. And this is a lot of water that's going to have to come through between now and about 5-6 a.m. So we could have some flooding overnight. And if the warm front gets a little farther north, we can get some of that severe weather as well. Still a tornado watch till 3 a.m. Richmond south. We've seen a little bit of lightning and thunder, but actually the cooler air that moved in today, keeping the surface more stable. Less likely we'll have severe weather, but we're going to watch it nonetheless. Right now we're watching some lighter showers which have come through D.C. and east, but this is some very heavy rainfall out to the west with occasional lightning and thunder, and it's moving north at like 50-55 miles an hour. Unfortunately, it's going over the same areas over and over. And with some of these rainfall rates, you see them from Hagerstown, Martinsburg, back through Brunswick and Charlestown and down to Leesburg. And we're talking rainfall rates in some of these areas now coming across Dulles and Sterling and towards Chantilly and Reston. Some of these rainfall rates are 2-3 inches or more per hour. And if they go over the same areas, yes, we're going to have some flooding overnight. So we've got to watch that very closely over the next several hours. And you see the rains, they continue to lift to the north with a little bit of lightning just west of Fredericksburg. Looks like around Wilderness. Futurecast times this out. Obviously, the heavy rain is west of us. It'll move toward the east so that by 2-3 o'clock, notice Culpeper. Seeing it looks like maybe the worst of it, but even here in the D.C. metro, it's going to be coming down, and potentially we may even rise into the low 60s. Still at 4 a.m., the early part of the rush hour could be impacted. Then we'll push this to the east. By 6 a.m., it's potentially still going to be raining heavily in southern Maryland up toward the upper part of the bay, but the worst should be past us. And then we're in for a blustery day on Monday with scattered showers. So we'll keep the yellow weather alert up because you got to watch out for high water. And if we can get some of these winds to mix down, potential for some power outages as well. And that could cause a problem for the morning commute. I'll come back in a few minutes. We'll talk about the rest of this week, which, Deborah, looks a little bit on the cool side.
All right, thank you so much, Howard. And of course, to stay on top of this storm, you got to download the WUSA 9 weather app. You get the latest alerts and the forecast right to your phone. D.C. police say they're investigating a potential hate crime. They're looking for 3 suspects who they say attacked 2 gay men near the very busy and popular U Street corridor. Stephanie Ramirez talked to a close friend of the victims.
That's a shame that people can just be beaten up for who they are. It's not good.
That's Jamie Sycamore's reaction to an assault that reportedly left 2 gay men with serious injuries. We're blurring out this photo since police haven't identified the victims, but you can see blood on the chin. Sycamore says this was one of 2 friends right after the assault this weekend.
A couple broken bones, probably a little shaken up.
We talked near Vermont and U Street's northwest. Police say they responded to an aggravated assault just next door at around 12:30 Sunday morning. Police say during the assault, the suspects yelled homophobic slurs. Sycamore tells me from what he was told, the attack actually happened a few blocks down by the Howard Theater area. There's actually many gay bars in the area, and a lot of their patrons tell us they're upset, they're on edge. Sycamore is running for the D.C. Ward 1 seat and sees it through a political lens.
We have people who are coming out with tiki torches, xenophobes, Nazis, racists, and people are just, I don't know, it's disappointing to see that it's happening in our own backyard.
By the U Street corridor, Stephanie Ramirez, WUSA 9.
Police say it's still early in their investigation and they haven't released any images of any